Hi, this is Matt with LSAT Cracked. This is going to be a very short lesson because the only thing we're talking about is how to improve on most strongly supported question stems. There are only a couple of things you need to think about. Point number one, you need to realize that essentially they are the exact same thing as a must-be-true question stem. A lot of LSAT students get completely overwhelmed when these prep test companies start throwing out all 15 different question stem permutations at them, but don't give them a mental model for organizing the essential underlying similarities and skills that are being tested. If you are struggling on a most strongly supported, there's very, very little chance that you're not also struggling, at least occasionally, on a must-be-true question stem. That's simply asking you, if everything you just read is true, which one of the following 5 answer choices is an inference. Now, the one slight difference here is that technically speaking, on a must-be-true, your bar for the answer choice being the correct answer is you would bet your life that it's a true answer. Must be true. 0 exceptions possible. You can build a logical, mathematical, bulletproof link to prove that conclusion's true. Now, in real-world arguments, sometimes we use a synonym where one word is a little bit of a fuzzy replacement for another word, or there's some hyper-technical, extreme difference, subtle difference between what the premises technically allowed you to conclude and what the answer choice is saying. So what the test writers can do is they can use most strongly supported as a hedge. It's a way of basically covering their bases to make sure that someone can't write an objection to that question. So then students start thinking, well, how do I know what's okay and what's not okay? It's quite simple. There are certain flaws that are never okay. The converse fallacy is an example of that. If A, then B. You can't just flip the arrow statement and say, if B, then A. You know that. So that's never going to be the correct answer on a most strongly supported. It's going to require you to do several of these, but keep in mind, if you thought that the right answer was wrong, and yet you still chose another answer on a most strongly supported, think about what that means. That means you still picked an answer choice that is absolutely not a valid inference. So the type of student that I have a little bit of sympathy for here is one where they do a most strongly supported and they actually find themselves crossing out all 5 answer choices. If that's the case, you can self-diagnose that you're being a little bit too literal. You need to be able to start gaining comfort with the fact that the right answer, while maybe it's not a bulletproof must be true, is an extremely reasonable inference that can be drawn from the set of facts that you've read in the above argument. So if you keep improving on the fundamental skill of drawing inferences from a set of facts, and you learn to dial back about 1 to 2% your over-literalism, if that's a problem that you're having, on these most strongly supporteds, you're going to crush them.